So up until now in FM22 Mercenary, we've never really been able to bring you back for a high-stakes game where everything was riding on the outcome of one result. Well, today, we're going to put that right. So in our last episode, we were signing off before the winter break with a 2-0 loss to Dunajska Streda. Well, we then took a couple of months off. We came back and got the boys fit before embarking on the final few games of our league campaign before the league split. We lost our first game back to Trenčín 2-1. That's back-to-back defeats against Trenčín this season. Significant because we've drawn them in the quarter-finals of the Slovakian Cup, which we've managed to progress to, and that was the round of the board's expectations, so we're pretty pleased with that. After that Trenčín game, we've now gone unbeaten. We've not looked hugely convincing. Have a look how many times we're scoring more than once in a game, and it's not that many. But we won 1-0 in our next game before a 1-1 draw with Sered. That result is also significant because we've drawn with and lost to that team this season. We'll show you why that's significant in a moment. We played really well in the next game. We managed to get a 4-1 victory. We got a second 1-0 win of the season against Rajomberok before two 1-1 draws on the spin and that 3-1 victory in the Slovakian Cup that set us up with that quarter-final tie. All of which means we've now got just one game left before the league split, and we are playing 5th place Žilina, and let's show you how it all is panning out. We are currently down in 7th place in the table, and we're sitting on 32 points. If we were to draw today's game, we would be tied with the team that fills the last place in the top half of the league before the league splits in two. But a draw is no good to us because the Slovakian league is separated on head-to-head results, and as we've just shown you, we've drawn with and lost to Sered this season. So if we both finish on 33 points, if they were to lose today's game, then they would progress to the championship playoff group and we would be confined to that relegation group. So our only hope is to finish above Žilina. That's perfectly possible, because they are the team that we are playing today. If we were to beat them, we would finish on 35 points, and they would be left on 34, and we would be qualifying for that top 6 playoff group, where we'd have another 10 games with a chance of qualifying for Europe. If we were to qualify this team for Europe and potentially take them further in the Slovakian Cup, what a great season it's been. But were we to get knocked out of the Cup in the quarter-final stage and finish in the bottom half of the table, it's not been so great a campaign. Just a quick update on how things are looking managerially. We've now got our National A licence. The board have denied us the chance to progress any further with our coaching qualifications, citing either needing us on the training ground or the first time around the club's finances being too poor. Our reputation now sits at 30%. Unfortunately, we've only managed to learn basic Slovak and no other languages. I thought we might be able to learn a little bit of basic Czech, which might help us with a future job. So far, we've not been able to do that. Our manager attributes are looking okay, but if we'd have got another coaching badge under our belts whilst at Pironia, then they could have looked even better, I think. But we're going to have to bounce into our next job with the prerequisite of demanding another coaching course if we're going to take up a position at a new club, in order to try and push more of these areas of our coaching game up towards double figures, I think. If we could, by the way, scrape into that championship group, maybe qualify the team for Europe, maybe take them to the cup final. You never know, there's a chance we could finish our time at Pironia as a 2-star coach, which is only going to help us secure a more lucrative and maybe prestigious post in our next job. But it all hinges on the result of today's game as we take on Žilina. Another episode and another new town, and this time Žilina, where the local team play at a stadium that accommodates more than 11,000 fans. Although Žilina are struggling in 5th place this campaign, they are a club that has won 7 Slovakian titles since 2002. And young coach Balázs Borbelia will be hoping to emerge victorious in this vital clash, with the winners guaranteed a spot in the championship group, whilst the losers must scrap against relegation. So I'd say we have all of our best players available for today's game. The only trouble is a couple of them are not that fit. Mihailik's picked up a minor little niggle that was due to keep him out for about 5 days, He's still at least 24 hours away from being declared fit, but it's only a bruised thigh, so I'm thinking we might be able to risk it. Over on the other side, we've just started playing Filip Hacek, who started the season as an inverted wing-back, then moved into central midfield once Martin Krian got injured, but now everybody's back. We're playing him out over on the right wing as a little inside forward. Playing at wing-back now, we have got Cedric Badolo back. Bit of a stuttering start for Cedric. We bought him back from Sheriff Tiraspol, where he'd been out on loan for 18 months. We were delighted to get him back in the team. He played one game for the side before getting injured and was out for a month. So he's not been that involved since he got back. He's been mainly trying to make his way back for fitness. But we've also got Martin Krian back, who's had a bit of a similar tale of woe, to be honest. He was out injured for 3 months, came back into training on the very first day of being back in training. He then got injured for another month. So he's been missing for a huge part of our season, and results when he was out of the team were far worse. I do think he's a very influential figure in the centre of our midfield, but it does mean that I now think we can get our best 11 players out on the pitch. We're going to stick with our back three. I now think we've got 2 reasonable options at wing-back. I do think we're going to see more and more from young Cedric as the season pans out. I think we've got our best 2 in central midfield. Hacek and Mihailik, I think, are good options out wide. And we've dispensed with playing a strikerless system. We've moved De Silva back up to a striker. So we're essentially playing the same formation that I originally designed at the start of the season. And De Silva's doing well. He's managed to get 3 assists and 9 goals in 20 starts, 21 appearances. He's in pretty reasonable form as well. I'm hoping he might be able to get on the end of a chance today against Shalina. It's high-stakes stuff. Win, and we're competing for the title. Not really, but on paper we are. Lose, and we're looking like we're heading into that relegation group. And the only thing we'd have to play for this season would be making further progress in the Slovakian Cup. Okay, the game is underway. We're in our home shirts today, so we are in the yellow as the home team. The good news is we've been at this club long enough now that our team talks are starting to have some influence on the players. We asked them to pick up where they left off in the last game, where we beat a team from the 2nd division to progress to the quarterfinals of the Cup. And they responded. They were motivated for today's game, so we've given them a bit of a rallying cry. And fortunately, they have listened. And we're 2 minutes into the game, and we've got the first highlight. I thought there was a chance for us to nick the ball back there, but instead, there's a chance for us to go a goal down early, and that is not the start that we wanted. If we lose today's game, the league campaign at least is as good as over for us. Everything will be coming down to the cup. The highest we'll be able to finish is 7th if we lose today. That is a terrible, terrible start from the boys. They've not been good recently when we've been bringing you back for episodes, have they? Certainly when we were bringing you back for Dugapolia games, we seem to be winning virtually every single one. Different story at Piranha. We found it a much, much tougher task. But the game is not over yet. Hacek comes running in to try and nod home. The keeper, Belko? He's managed to save them, and now they're coming forward again. If we go 2-0 down after 10 minutes, I may well just, try and throw the water bottle 10 minutes into the game if I can, and it's looking like this could well be another highlight for the opposition. They're playing the ball around without us really closing them down as much as I would like. Might have to have a look at the line of engagement in a minute. We are standing off them a little bit, and they are just dancing past us, and they are in again. And it's Lejang, who has been, I would say, our top performer this season. It's not often you're relying on a goalkeeper to be your highest average rating. But with us, he has got that gig so far. He's looked pretty solid. Let's just check our line of engagement, because I don't feel like we are pressing them enough. We're pressing as often as you can be allowed to. We could go even higher up the pitch, but I'm loath to spread us out as much as that. I think maybe the players just, I don't know, are a little bit cumbersome today. We've had one shot. It's not even been on target. And we're a quarter of the way through the game. Now we've finally had a shot. And Sergeant Belko has tipped it over the bar. And on half an hour, Well, they're coming at us yet again. Osvaldo manages to win the ball back. Now's the time, boys. We need to get forward and try and get ourselves back into this game. If it's 1-1 at half-time, we can deal with that. We can perhaps try and be a little bit more aggressive in the second half, but we need a goal from somewhere. Here's Osvaldo. Don't shoot. He has shot. Forgive me, I thought he was taking a pot shot from way too far out. But Sergeant Belko has just dabbled that into his own net. God bless his chocolate wrists on this occasion. De Silva nods it down. Hashek sends the little through ball. I've seen him miss 1,000 shots from there before, but that has gone right through the sergeant. And we are back in the game. Let's just get it onto the pause. Let's throw out a shout. Let's encourage them. Could we go for a second before half-time? Not sure it would be a deserved second, by the way, but it would be an appreciated one. And here's Badolo. He's gone for a deep cross. Mihailik, oh, he's hit the bar. He's come in unmarked at the far post. He's ghosted in. And now we're looking a little bit more likely. The body language is looking good. We've got some reasonable performances. The second half, we're going to have to offer more, but just one goal more without conceding. And we're qualifying for that top half of the league, for the league split. So we told the players we were appalled by that first half performance. That wasn't strictly true, but it got a response from them. The player we're keeping an eye on, by the way, is Mihailik. He's playing a 6.3 and he's carrying that knock. It may be a short afternoon for him. On about 55 minutes, I think we might well replace him. That is a terrible pass that's run straight out of play. And the half gets underway properly now. Badolo comes forward, miscontrols the ball, and their left back robs it from him. And we've got work to do to win it back. They've got Kostra, they've got Mbemba. We need to try and win this ball back. If we could win it here, that looks dangerous. Instead, they've thumped it forward, and instead of winning the ball, it's gone forward to their one player that was up front, and he's managed to set up his strike partner. And Lejang has pulled off another important save for us. Okay, I'm thinking we're going to leave it 10 more minutes before we move Fofana up front and go to a sort of a 2-4-2 kind of formation with the big man up front. We've brought on music. Hopefully he will strike the right notes for us today. We've got, 18 minutes. We need a goal. Here is the music man. He's come from far away. And he's hit the post. I think he might have been offside. And I think now is the time we're going to have to switch to a 4-2-4. We're going to bring Fofana in. We're going to ask him to be a target forward on support. We're going to keep the wing-backs bombing on. We're going to have two inverted wingers getting forward. We've got a central midfielder getting forward. We've not created enough chances so far this game. Let's see whether we can fashion one in the last 10 minutes of this game. We're going to throw out a shout after this as well. We're going to demand more. Don't be behind when we throw out the shout. Go and close them down. Why is he in acres of space? No. No. Oh, go no. He's just completely unmarked. He's ghosted through. This is why, of course, you have the three centre-backs in play. Some idiot's taken one of them out and played them as a target forward. And they have got in through the gaps. And we are looking for 2 goals in 12 minutes. Or it's season over. Okay, this is not looking good for us, is it? 10 minutes to play. I don't think we've got enough attacking-wise to get back into this game. The time is ticking away. We're creating nothing. We've thrown a shout out of demand more. It's not made any difference. Our season is fizzling out. All we've got now is the Slovakian Cup and potentially finishing 7th in the league. Sandals had a go. He's offside. I think that may be all she wrote for this game. The boys just haven't done enough. We've got some really poor defensive performances. 6.1, 6.3s. We've taken off 2 poor performances as well. This is a bad day for these players. And it puts all of the pressure on the Slovakian Cup. We've got to try and win that quarter-final against Trenčín, who we've lost to twice this season already, just to keep our season alive. Otherwise, we're going to be getting through the last few games as quickly as possible. with our eyes on where we're going to be moving to next. This game has well and truly slipped away from us. It was a poor day for these players. They've got an XG of 0.57. I mean, we're going to thrash the arms. We're far from pleased. The writing is on the wall. The writing is well and truly on the wall. There we have it confirmed. We finished 7th, agonisingly the wrong side of that dividing line. So we're going to have to play all of these teams in the lower half of the table another 2 times. I'm confident we'll pick up lots more wins, but it's not going to matter. Even if we finish on 50 points, we're not going to finish any higher than 7th in the table. And our next episode is either going to be us coming back for a glorious cup semi-final or us coming back for a rather limp final game of the season.